Hello all, welcome to Keith Speaks. This is Keith. If it's your first time, take the time to subscribe, get some good factual information, and at the very least start the conversation. This will be a two-part segment, so hopefully you bear with me. Now, there's a name at the center of a $2 trillion industry, a name that belongs to no one, or everyone, or something that never was a person at all. Satoshi Nakamoto. Say it slowly because the name itself might be the first clue. In Japanese, Satoshi means clear thinking, wise, enlightened. Naka means inside, central, relationship. Moto means origin, foundation, root. But put it together as a compound, Satoshi Nakamoto, and some Japanese linguists and cryptographers have noted a translation that should make you stop cold. Central intelligence. Now, maybe that's a coincidence. Maybe it's wordplay stretched too far, but here's what you need to understand about intelligence community operations. They don't name things randomly. They embed meaning. They leave calling cards. They construct layers. The internet was called ARPANET. The surveillance program was called PRISM. The Bitcoin predecessor was called Hashcash. They name things for what they do. So when the creator of a global financial surveillance infrastructure, operating under a Japanese pseudonym, claiming to live in Japan, writing in flawless English, chooses a name that translates to Central Intelligence, you don't dismiss that. You file it. Here's what we know, officially. In October of 2008, 1 month after the global financial system nearly collapsed, a white paper appeared on a cryptography mailing list, 9 pages, titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, authored by Satoshi Nakamoto. On January 3rd, 2009, the Bitcoin network went live. The first block ever mined, the Genesis block, had a message embedded in it, a headline from the Times of London. Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. Perfectly timed, perfectly placed, a direct message to the global financial system. Then Satoshi spent 2 years building, communicating, corresponding, responding to developers, answering technical questions, guiding the network's early architecture. And then, in December of 2010, without ceremony, without announcement, without explanation, gone. No exit interview, no book, no TED Talk, no revelation, no return. The wallet Satoshi left behind has never been touched. In April 2026, a documentary dropped claiming to finally close the book on that disappearance. 4 years of investigation. A New York Times best-selling author, a private investigator, dozens of interviews, and their conclusion? Satoshi Nakamoto wasn't one person, it was two. Both of them dead, both of them conveniently unable to confirm or deny anything. The film identifies Hal Finney, a software developer who died of ALS in 2014, and Len Sassman, a systems engineer who died by suicide in July of 2011, as the co-creators of Bitcoin. The theory goes that Finney wrote the code, Sassman wrote the white paper, and together they built the network under a shared pseudonym before departing this earth. The documentary features grieving widows, it features emotional testimony, it features 4 years of work dressed up as a definitive answer. What it does not feature, not once, not in passing, not even as a dismissed theory, is the word government. No NSA, no CIA, no X-Keyscore, no SHA 256 lineage, no how to make a mint, no Amazon Web Services. A 4-year investigation into the origins of a $2 trillion financial system and the intelligence community didn't come up once. That's not an oversight. That's a decision. Now, this is the one most people don't know about. About 12 years before Satoshi Nakamoto published his white paper, a group of NSA information security researchers published a paper titled How to Make a Mint, the Cryptography of Anonymous Electronic Cash, first on an MIT mailing list, then in the American Law Review. The paper outlines a system with secure financial transactions over a decentralized network, covering privacy, user identification, message integrity, and non-repudiation. And it gets tighter. The NSA papers carries a disclaimer noting it was prepared by NSA employees in furtherance of the study of cryptography, and that the authors were mathematical cryptographers at the NSA's Office of Information Security Research and Technology. Now add this. SHA-256, the exact algorithm Satoshi used to secure Bitcoin, was developed in 2001. Not by a basement coder, by the NSA. So the NSA designed the conceptual blueprint 12 years early, creating the hashtag algorithm Bitcoin runs on, and then a mysterious anonymous figure deploys it in 2008 and disappears forever. Follow the money. Fuck it. Follow the math. Edward Snowden's disclosures revealed that the NSA was monitoring Bitcoin users as early as 2013 through a program called X-Keyscore, capable of pinpointing a user's IP address, tracking their activity, mapping their network. A sub-operation called Monkey Rocket, described publicly as a non-Western internet anonymization service, was in fact a full-take surveillance operation running underneath it. So they built a supposedly anonymous financial network, then built the tools to surveil everyone using it. That's not irony. That's design. Every transaction ever made on Bitcoin is permanent, public, and traceable. Blockchain analytics took tools like chain analysis already allow government agencies and private institutions to track every movement on the public chain. The anonymous cash system is actually the most comprehensive financial transaction record in human history. Every dollar that ever moved through traditional banking has gaps, cash transactions, privacy windows, dead ends. Bitcoin has none of that. Every Satoshi, forever, on a public ledger. They gave you the belief in openness. They kept the keys. They want you to accept two dead men as the answer and move on. Let's not. Hal Finney had ALS. That is not a surprise death. That is a prolonged, documented decline where the mind stays sharp while the body fails. He had years to prepare, years to write things down, leave instructions, grant access, tell his wife where the wallet keys were. If he was sitting on what is now over $1 trillion, Fran Finney would know. She would either have access, know where the access is, or know that it was deliberately destroyed. There is no fourth option. And yet, the wallet has never moved. Not one Satoshi. His widow says she believes he probably played a role. Probably after a decade on $1 trillion. That doesn't add up. Lynn Sassman died by suicide in July 2011, 6 months after Satoshi's last public post. The documentary frames that timing as poetic. We should be framing it as a question mark. His widow previously rejected all claims that her husband was Satoshi. Flat denial. Then this documentary arrives, and suddenly she's softened to plausible. No keys, no files, no drafts, no primary evidence of any kind. Just a widow who changed her answer in a filmmaking team that called that a conclusion. The lead investigator is a former Wall Street banker. 17 years at Lazard Frères, Merrill Lynch, and JP Morgan Chase. The film was supported by Coinbase, one of the largest regulated crypto exchanges, with deep ties to government regulatory infrastructure. The people funding the search for Satoshi are the people who benefit the most from closing the question permanently. One dies of a disease that gives you time to prepare. No keys passed down, no documentation, no trail. One dies by suicide. Quite telling. No note naming Bitcoin. No files. No evidence. Both deaths close every evidentiary door. The wallet doesn't move because dead men can't move. But the real question is, who can move it and is choosing not to? Because that wallet sitting still, untouched, unmoved for over 15 years, is itself the operation. It is the proof of concept that the system is controlled, the origin is protected, and whoever holds the actual keys has no reason to reveal themselves. They gave you 2 sympathetic deaths, 2 grieving widows, and 0 keys. I'm giving you part 2. Who actually owns the infrastructure? Where do the nodes live? And what does Amazon Web Services, the CIA's cloud contractor, have to do with the blockchain that was supposed to set you free? Part 2. That's where this gets structural. I'm Keith. This is Keith Speaks. and ask better questions.